Okay, we have taped an entire podcast, and holy smokes, you were probably like, whoa, I didn't know it was this much work. It's a lot of work. If you're a video professional, it probably doesn't seem like as much work because you're used to this kind of work. But if you're just a person wanting to make your own podcast, that portion of this course might actually give you a different perspective, and it might push you towards a more efficient way of doing things. Because I'm not trying to tell you my way is the most efficient. It's the way I do it because that's the way I want our podcast to look. I could definitely cut some corners, or I could actually add some things to make it better. But that's kind of like I'm walking a tightrope between efficiency and quality. Yes, I want the highest quality, but I don't really want to pull out the red cinema camera because the data is crazy. But all to say, now that you've seen that, maybe now you're better informed to decide how you want your podcast to look and what links you're willing to go to get it there. Now, for this next module, for this next lesson, we're going to talk about post-production, editing the content. Here we go. So this one's going to be really hands-on. We're actually going to pull in that episode that you just watched us tape. We're going to edit it now. And we might even edit another podcast for Miss Karen, one of our examples, because she said we could. And that way you get two different styles of podcast being edited. But just to review, where are we at so far in this process? So one, we planned it. Man, that was a great section, right? The planning, all that kind of stuff. And then we talked about how to get the most out of your podcast. The next thing we did, as you just experienced, we recorded the podcast. Now, some of the things that we want to do in this post-production process, right, is going to be back up your footage and assets. We have beautiful little SSDs here, and actually you can see I have SSDs dedicated to my clients. So this one, well, it's not focusing. There we go. This one is Karen Wright's. That's her SSD. Okay. It's specific to her because I don't want to be looking for the SSD that her stuff's on. So she gets her own 2 terabyte ready to go. We're going to edit this long form stuff like I just talked about. And then I'm going to teach you how to extract the reels. Now, there are multiple ways to do that. I'm going to show you the cheap/hard way. I'm going to show you the you pay a little, but it's a lot easier. And then obviously we're going to roll that into distribution. So without further ado, let's go to the editing portion of this and let's edit one of these podcasts together. All right, guys, welcome to the second live editing of a full podcast. Now, this is going to be probably a longer process, so grab your popcorn, block out some time for this part of the course because I'm not going to fast forward a lot. I'm actually just going to do the whole edit of the podcast that we just filmed out in the warehouse factory area and let you guys see it in real time. So first thing, pro tip I'll give you is I've done a bunch of these episodes, right? So as you can see on my screen, I've got them all listed out here. We just filmed episode 10. So what I'm going to do to save myself some time, if I go to PP, which stands for Premiere Pro, I can actually copy this, right? Come into episode 10. If I can click it, and then I'll just make another Premiere Pro folder, paste it, and give myself, I pasted the Premiere Pro project and then I renamed it to the new episode number, which is number 10. And what that does, guys, is that makes it to where I do not have to re-import a lot of my assets. I've got to import the new footage, of course, but I'm not going to have to import my intro, any text on screen, any little stingers or bugs that I have on screen. That's already going to be in there. It's going to save me a bunch of time. Now, that's after you edit your first episode, second episode, so on and so forth. But it's going to save you a lot of time. And as you can see, it's telling me right now I'm missing a bunch of footage. That's because after so many episodes, I don't keep the footage. There's no need to keep the raw footage when I have the full episode recorded. Now, if your client wants the raw, that's an extra cost. If you want to keep the raw, that's an extra cost. But you can see episode 9, I'm missing all the footage because that's been published. I'm never going to go back to the raw footage when I have an hour-long or 2-hour-long episode. But what I'm going to do is come over here and make a new folder called episode number 10. Okay. And you can see all my stuff lives here. Now the audio, I never get rid of the audio. So the audio is always available if I need it again. We're going to come back to assets. I don't put it in a footage audio folder normally because there's not that much if I was doing like a documentary, yeah, there'd be a footage folder with subfolders. But for me, putting it in just an assets folder works. You can see I have the audio.
A little bit that I do know.
I'm in like
TV.
Yep, have the audio. I have, let's call it a cam or my camera, looking like a goober, singing songs. I have John's camera, and I have Savannah's camera. The only thing I need to add to this actually is going to be, I did some 360 camera stuff, so we'll add that. It's in another folder, but you could add another camera. Everything goes in here. That's the point. So we're going to drag and drop that into our Premiere Pro project here. All right, that's all loaded up. Let me go to my desktop and just grab that 360 clip because I'm actually using it also for this course, so I just put it in a different place. But it's a good fourth camera to have. So that's in there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to Command A to select everything in here. Right-click, Create Multicam Sequence. Okay, and I'll just name this Episode 10 Multicam. Set to audio mix down. Good. Okay, that's going to work. It really doesn't take a long time. Pretty close, pretty close. And it is. It's probably working on that 360 camera right now, but it's really close. Well, it's almost done. I was going to show you guys something while we wait. Okay, all that process, it said there was one clip that it wouldn't do. And I think it's because I actually didn't have a scratch mic on my camera to get the audio, but luckily we did our little sync with the film slate, so we're going to be able to go add that really easily, and I'm going to show you. This is good. Like, this can happen. This is the importance of the film slate. So let me just fast forward here. We'll find where it clicks, where it hits. Oh, there we go. Go back. And right where it hit, boom. I'm just going to press I for in. I and O are in and out. I'm just basically making a mark there. Then I'm going to come here to this multicam I just made, right click, go to open in timeline. Okay. As you can see, I think it used a 1080 clip to size it all. So, no, I'm sorry, it used a 4K clip to size it. That's why this 1080 clip is so small. The first thing I like to do is just tidy up this because you can see it just puts stuff everywhere. So we're going to bring our main camera. Let's see what camera. Okay, that's our 360 camera. We're going to bring, everybody needs to be on their own track. Okay, so here's Savannah. You can see that little Savannah person there. We're going to bring Savannah down to track 1. So I'm just command shifting. It won't move if you do that. I'm bringing all Savannah down to track 1. Good. Now we'll put John on track 2. And the nature of different cameras with that Canon EOS R mirrorless camera, it only does a 30-minute record time, so I had to keep pressing record on that. That's a little workaround I wish I didn't have to do. With John's camera, it does continuous recording, but the caveat to that is I have to go in it splits it up into different clips. Now, they're all synced. They're all good to go. I just grabbed everything. I'm going to press Command L, and that unlinks it because I don't technically need all this scratch audio. So I'm going to delete it. Cool. Now we can go back to the beginning. All right, let's get it where we can see. Remember, I already marked with the I button my sync on my camera because I forgot to put a mic on it to record scratch audio. Scratch audio is just like ambient audio. It's just going to record. I could have just unplugged the cord and let it use the onboard mic like Savannah's camera was, but I forgot. I was running a lot of stuff and I was playing guitar too. So
A little bit that I do know. It's pretty bad.
We're going to go in here and find where I click it. In fact, I'll turn that off okay, I don't have a visual, but I can see the click right here. Look at that.
I've done it one time.
See this? Watch.
All right.
So I'll just go until, let's say right there, press I. That just gives me a mark. Now I can pull this in and look at what we got.
I've done it twice.
Okay, because we did that, I just want to go through and make sure.
I would like magical connotation to it, but yeah, we've been.
Dude, you should theme one of your flavors like that.
Okay, I want to go through the whole thing because it can get off towards the end. This part, I listened to it in 2 days, and man, that thing just keeps you on edge and just. Okay, it's a little off, so we're gonna go back here. We're gonna zoom in. If you press the plus and minus sign, it'll like magnify your timeline there. I'll go back to that mark I made. Dang, I'll take it all of that mark because I just don't need like anything before that. I don't need it, so I can like line it all up. So trial and error, guys. I mean, it's kind of good this happened because I get to show you kind of what I'm dealing with sometimes. So command, right, boom, maybe there. That looked right. That's the importance of having scratch audio in your cameras too. That will help a lot. Like we wouldn't be going through this, but I'm kind of glad we are.
It's dead. Because remember they were tied up in the barn and you never
All right, it's towards the end and I'm synced up. I talk a lot at the end too.
to the village. And it's taken all the young men to a certain death war. Like we're going to fight this battle, you're all probably going to die.
Okay, cool. Weird part of the podcast, huh?
Okay,
we're good with that. We're good with that. And what you can do now to turn all these layers back on, you can lock them once you're super happy. I choose for our podcast to not shoot in any log profile. That means I don't shoot flat. I want it the way I want it in the camera. And that just saves me time later. Like right now, I don't have to color grade myself. And I'm not a big fan of this angle, but hey, that's me. So we'll turn that layer off. And we're able to look at this. As you can see, I shot my camera's in 4K, this camera's in 1080, so I need to increase the size. You can either right-click and say scale to frame size, fit to frame, one of those two. Or you can go into the effects panel here and increase it by 200. I think I'll just do that because that's a copy and pastable setting that I can do if I need to, which I don't because I only have this camera in here one time. And honestly, on my camera, I could probably go in here and raise the shadows a little bit. This is like a dirty edit, so you guys can do what you want to do on your client stuff and your own podcast.
My good friend Blaine.
But I think just raising the shadows helped. Of course, that light really comes in right there when the sun's coming up. But hey, all in all, I'm actually pretty good with it, and I'm going to live with it. Okay, going to this camera. This 360 camera is on auto, so it's pretty much good to go too. You can shoot in log if you just really want to. And on my main client stuff like the bank, I do shoot in log. So here, John is also shot in 1080p. Now, funny enough, his camera shoots on a 4K sensor, then it down-reses it. So it's a really sharp camera.
Nope, not
You
yet.
thought you're nasty.
The thing I will do on John's, just because the white balance looks a little off, I just use a little white balance grabber there. Increase the exposure, increase the contrast, and for a down and dirty edit, I think that looks pretty good. We're going to copy the paste of that clip. Remember, I have separate clips for that camera, just the nature of that camera. Paste attributes. I want to do the sizing. I want to do the color. And when I go look at these clips, he should be good. Cool. So we'll turn his off just so we can see Savannah's. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4 clips. Again, we're going to increase hers to 200. I just shoot ours at 1080 mostly to save space. Her shadows could definitely come up just a little. Actually, I'm okay with where it's at. I'm really okay with Savannah's camera.
14.
To me, she looks perfectly exposed, and you can pull up your Lumetri scopes. I mean, like, guys, when I'm doing like a documentary project, I will spend days, using these tools, and I can teach these tools in another video, but I will spend days with these tools making sure that everything is perfectly exposed. For our podcast, it's down and dirty, man. Like we get it done, we get it out. It's got to look good to the eye, and then I just move on. So we're going to paste all those attributes to her clips. And as you go on, there's more light that comes in too. So it gets a lot brighter for her. But yeah, her camera looks good to me. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 cameras color graded. Again, I try to mix everything in camera, in sound. That way it's ready to go. This is one area because we do like a musical thing in the beginning. Sometimes I will have to adjust that in post, but for the most part, my audio is ready to go.
There's a lot of data.
Because I'm getting it right in this recorder in that Rodecaster before. That way I don't have to do any editing after. You can edit to separate tracks, and that's great. And I do that for my clients because I want a lot of room for error. But with this podcast, we're more on the fly. So let's go hear the music.
The shoreline and the delta summer breeze.
where the Spanish moss is hanging off
Twangy voice right there, son.
Tree. You can hear the Dixie whippoorwill morning song she sings. Lay me down in Alabama when you go to bury me. Lay me down in Alabama, maybe somewhere around Mobile. All right, sounds good. And I'm also monitoring it. Like, as a musician, I'm hearing myself and I'm backing off and onto the mic so that I'm like, I'm not going to want to edit this later. I had to do that in another one and it was just a pain. So anyways, we've got our multicam basically built, right? But we're not going to cut from here. We're going to come over here. We're going to go to new sequence. Let's do us a 4K sequence. And this is episode number 10, main timeline. This is just how I do it. You can name it what you want. Then your multicam's right above there in this little panel. You're going to come and drag it, and you're going to see a bunch of clips come. Now, Command L for unlinking all that and get rid of the junk you don't need. Okay? You can come back here and relink just these two clips. And then also, if you come in this space right here on the timeline and right-click, delete tracks. We're going to delete empty tracks of audio, empty tracks of video. It just tidies everything up. Now, we go here, we only see Savannah. What's the problem? Well, we need to activate multicam. So first you're going to right click the multicam nest, if you will. This green thing's a nest. Okay, multicam enable. It's already enabled. Good, love it. Then I'm going to come here on the bottom. You see this little toggle multicam view. It's like a square with little squares beside it. When I click that, all of a sudden I have this. Now, I have too many tracks over here. Look, I've got all this empty space. I want to see bigger images. Also, be saving as you go because you don't want to get down the road and then it deletes everything. What's happened to me? Okay, we're going to delete tracks, all empty tracks. So now our nested sequence is cleaned up. And when we come back, boom, we've got 4 nice, big, visible images to look at. We can even shrink this because we're not using it. I'll save. And there we go. We've got Savannah on track 1. I can switch these around if I want to be on track 1 or John on track 1 and Savannah on track 4. You can do it how you want. For now, this is going to work for me. Sorry, just need to.
So I will.
All right. Are we supposed to be introducing ourselves right now? Because you know.
I had to go get the outline. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to go ahead and cut all this. So you can use the 1, 2, 3, and 4 to switch cameras. I'll just do that real quick so you can see. Anything in red, I'm switching those cameras.
Make sure the audio is lined up.
Boom, 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 stop. And you can see it made all those cuts for me. Now I'm going to command undo that, right? Because I'm going to go ahead and cut all this. I'll do a little time lapse for you guys. I'll cut it, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about what we do after we select each shot that we want. A couple pro tips. You don't always want to be on the person who's talking because there might be a great reaction from somebody else. So kind of teeter between like seeing the person speaking, but also if they're making somebody laugh, if they're making somebody make a weird face, you want to jump there. And then with the big wide shot, I'll, jump there every, 15 to 20% of the time just to give it like another establishing shot in the podcast. But that's how I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to do that now. That way you don't have to sit through. It'll probably take about 45 minutes because I will do it at double speed. If you play it and press L, you can see it plays at double speed. You press L again. It plays at like triple speed and so on and so forth. So you can do it pretty fast. I do it mostly at double speed, and that will cut my work on this stage in half. So it's going to take me about 45 minutes to do this. Let me do that, and we'll come right back. So I have finished cutting the bulk of the podcast for the most part. The one thing I do want to do is find something for that intro. I like to start with some content rather than the stinger intro, like actually us talking. And there was a point in the podcast where
we were talking about sneaking out as kids. And they were like, there's this moment where John and Savannah are laughing. He would always tell me. He was from California too. And he and this is a funny part too. We're talking about a chicken sandwich. Just anything that's funny we can put in there. I think we might do this part.
You just want a burger.
He ordered that cheese.
Okay, yeah, we're going to do this part. John's talking about a friend who, no matter where they would eat, he would always order a cheeseburger.
With a guy, he ordered a probably.
But-
Everybody's got a burger.
Yeah.
He's still
Probably seafood. And you probably could have got a burger or something.
probably.
But-
Everybody's got a burger.
Yeah.
He still work with a guy.
Okay, we're going to pick it up right there. We're going to make a cut with Command K. Okay.
He still work with a guy. He ordered a burger no matter what restaurant we were in. Like, could be Italian.
Get a little bit of this.
Yeah, Waffle House. He ordered a cheeseburger wherever he went.
Well, I bet he knows where all the best ones are.
I'm sure he does.
I don't know. That always blew my mind.
I had a friend like that. He always get a buffalo chicken sandwich if it was available. He would always tell me. He's from California too.
If it makes you laugh, it's probably okay.
He came to Camp Shelby to work with us for a summer. And he was like, bro, the sidelines over at Hattiesburg got the best buffalo chicken sandwich in America.
All right, it's perfect. So we'll just cut it there. We want just something like, in my opinion, you just want something for 20, 30 seconds that's going to be comedic and make you laugh. And what I'll do is I'll go in here and label it just rows. So you can see it's distinguished. Now, remember those individual YouTube videos we talked about? I have one here that I'm going to cut out for Savannah where she's talking about their new flavors they're doing, and she can use that on their platforms. And so whenever you're finding things, finding little clips, you can go ahead and section them out and color code them so you're not searching for them later. If you see something, a segment that would be a good standalone video, just go ahead and color code that, and you can come back and get it later. But what we're going to do here, we're still going to leave this here. We're not like deleting it, but we're going to Command C for copy, and we're going to go to the very front, and we're going to put it here. So the episode will start with this.
He still work with a guy. He ordered a burger no matter what restaurant we were in. Like, it could be Italian, it could be a fried chicken joint, Waffle House.
You just want a burger.
He ordered a cheeseburger wherever he went.
Well, I bet he knows where all the best ones are.
I don't know.
I'm sure he does. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That always blew my mind.
I had a
Like,
friend like that. He would always get a buffalo chicken sandwich if it was available.
It's still making me laugh, so I think it's good. Okay, so now we've got that. We've got our bulk episode here. What do we need to do next? Now, you're going to want to create an intro. It's not completely necessary, but for video, I think it's really nice to have. This is our intro that I made, claymation style. Very nice. Okay, cool. And then the episode comes in. So we're going to Command C. This is why we copy that project in the beginning. So we don't have to re-import these. I'm just going to put this intro right here. I'm going to ripple delete everything. So now my intro is here.
Came to Camp in America.
So you can see it goes from just a nice laughing moment to our little intro here. Okay, we're recording. Welcome to the Brood Awakening podcast. I'm Forrest. Right, and it goes right into the episode. The other thing that I will do, and just gives it something nice to land on after they're watching the podcast, if they make it an hour and 31 minutes, it's not just going to stop abruptly. This is where you could put end screens for YouTube, ads. We have a little read ad at the very end of this where we talk about the coffee company. But as you can see, I put the intro. Just put the intro as like an outro. So it's an intro and an outro. And guys, I'm going to make some content either on my YouTube channel or a separate course on how I did this claymation in about an hour. So stay tuned for that. Okay. And we'll press O for out. Remember, I is in, O is out. So you can see we have save as well. We press the plus minus sign. We can also, we're done editing, so we can make this a little smaller. Make that crazy guy smaller.
Like water hose water. Like
yeah, that's it, guys. That's pretty much all of our editing. We need to export, so Command M. So waveform audio is what we're going to do for the audio version. And also the audio version doesn't need, we can go back to edit. The audio version doesn't need the intro. I might leave the outro just to have some music, but if we go press N and start this export, and we also want to make sure in and out is not entire source, but source in and out is selected. That's only going to export
13.
the audio, as you can see.
Sometimes too.
Yeah, I remember stretching.
The only bad thing about filming out there in that space was that air conditioner and refrigerator noise, but it's a warehouse, and I could do a little more work on the mics to try to fix that, but for the most part, I'm cool with it. So we're going to go to our folder here, our master folder. You can see here are all of our podcasts, and then we go here to episode 10. I'm making a new folder called exports. That's where all the exports are going to live. I can save that. The audio normally doesn't take long, so I'll go ahead and do that. As you can see, it took about 4 to 5 seconds. That's done. If you come up here to text, right, you can go to export text file. Remember, we're going to want that text file to build all of our content, and we're just going to send that to exports too. So save. So that's sent. I'll command save again. This next part is going to take a little bit, but like I said, you go through and you can export each section that you clipped out as separate videos. You could always do that later with the master export if you want. Probably easier just to color code them as you're going and do it right here. But the very last thing I'm going to do is Command M. I'm going to come here to H.264. That is the preferred video codec that I like to use for these. It keeps the video render kind of manageable, if you will. Also, I found if I go into video and go into target bitrate, there's not a super visible difference between something like 35, say, and 60. And so for YouTube, 35 is going to be plenty, and it gives me a 24 gig file instead of a 40 gig file. That's going to help a lot. And also we are going to be up-resing this to 4K. So that's another reason the file's a little bigger, but any like data we can save, unnecessary data, we'll do it. So we're going to hit export. That is going to do it for like the post-production part of this. I will take you through how to do those Opus Clip reels. In fact, I did it on Karen's. So at the end of her edit, you'll see that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's get into distribution.